right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in the Scottsdale AZHQ, joined, as always, by Randall Langston.
Morning. Afternoon. Morning.
Morning still. Morning. Good call. Let's jump right into this episode.
Let's go.
Gosh, this is going to hit home for a lot of you, and it's okay. I want you guys just to listen to this episode and kind of like take some steps to fix this. So one of the things that, and even some of the Iron Circle members, but most every single one of our coaching clients, they have one common thing.
Yep.
And that is what I would call the Atlas gym owner. You ever seen that statue, the Greek god, where he's holding the world on his shoulders? That's your business as a gym owner right now in today's environment. Most of the gym owners we work with, they are holding their business up.
Yeah. It's all on their shoulders. They
do everything from the sales to the coaching to the programming to the marketing to answering phones.
Well, why do you think that is?
Well, we'll get into that, but there's a lot of reasons. But at the end of the day, you can't be this gym owner that does everything and expect to, one, ever remove yourself, and two, ever scale, or three, really ever have any like semblance of a successful business, because you get sick, you want to go on vacation, God forbid, with your family and go out of town. What happens to the business?
Yeah.
And the business, you have one chink in your armor, you have a bad day, the whole place could crumble down. And that's a really scary place to be.
Sure.
And, honestly, that life was my life for many years. And, if you're just starting out, and I think there's sometimes you have to do it, like there's no money in the business, you're learning things as you go, and you wouldn't even be able to train somebody up because you don't even know yourself what needs to happen. And, obviously we dive deep into this topic during our coaching program. And that's something that we solve for a lot of gyms, but like, this is the common thread. The whole success and failure of the business is 100% relying on the gym owner,
and their efforts.
And so the number one reason I think this is happening and why gyms can't seem to get out of their own way is, number one, they don't trust anybody else to do a good a job as them. Number one, they don't have the trust factor.
Sure.
Maybe they've been let down. They've tried in the past and it works, so they just take it back. And number two, and probably more important, you get to a point where you do hire staff and you got a team starting, but they don't do their jobs to the best of their abilities. And then what happens, the gym owner comes back and scoops up those responsibilities and I'll do it on my own.
Sure. I'll throw one more in there.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that, gym owners don't value their time enough.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. There is a portion of that workload that is, it's easier for me to just do it. Yep. You know what I mean? Or, they're jumping in and training, or they're repairing the equipment. And that's the fact of like, maybe they don't know how to justify the dollars and cents. You know what I mean? They're not comparing their time spent to the $200 in revenue that they should have been earning in that time, or something along those lines.
And you get to a point where you're a very efficient gym owner, and you know that if you can go and put that time into something else, you can generate 10x times whatever you would spend to hire somebody to do that job. But they've also haven't mastered that skill set yet. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt, if I went in and decided to generate some leads today, I know very well how to do that, and I can go spend some time, and that would generate 10x of whatever I would pay somebody to fix the treadmill.
And you can take that one step further too. Let's say that it's the person that, there isn't necessarily the capital in the business yet, or, they're not comfortable spending the money yet, type of thing. We look at business very logically, right? Like, there's a math problem. If we want to bring in a system, a staff member, right? What is that expense that we have to overcome? Yes. We don't just sit around and be like, I can't add somebody to the business because I don't have the revenue. No, if it's a need for us to grow, and we need that person, and it's going to allow us to grow faster, more efficiently, more effective, deliver better results, etc. How many clients do we need to add to the business to add that person to the business?
I do that equation all the time.
It's the only thing that matters. I mean, like, if you want to scale, and I don't want to say scale fast, and like, there's risks to scaling fast in ways, but if you want to be intentional about the growth of your business, you need to look at every dollar that's going out as an opportunity to go earn it, to make that system, service, person, whatever it may be, a real thing in your business.
Out earn that expense.
Exactly.
Out earn it.
Exactly.
And yes, and so if you're on the fence and you need a new coach, here's the easiest math equation. Again, this is math. This is what we do. Determine what your average revenue is per month per client. Mm-hmm. Determine what the salary is you would be paying this new staff employee, and then divide it by the revenue per member. And I need 20 clients, or I need 5 clients. And, so then you make it a goal. Hey, as soon as I hit that 5th client, I'm going to start finding a new coach, or even start
put the pole in the water.
Get the job description out there and start interviewing while you're working towards getting that 5th client or whatever that number is. And then you just accept that, hey, I worked hard now to get these 5 clients. That's basically washed out by this new coach. But guess what? I've got all my time back.
You just invested in your business, and you just earned an entire new employee. Yeah. I mean, like, what you can do with that much more time in the business, right? Yep. The deliverable that this person can now, the responsibility that they can take on, like what your business is capable of with one more additional person. Mm-hmm. It's not the same battle anymore. You know what I mean? Right. The 5 people, 2 people, 4 people it took to bring in that one additional person.
Yep.
I mean, you've got room for another 25 people. You know what I mean? Like, this is how we grow.
Yep, exactly. And then the other side of this is you do get that new employee, but you lack the systems to onboard them correctly, train them correctly, make sure that they understand what their performance valuations are looking at. We've got all of that. Again, this isn't our coaching program, but we've got all of that very knocked down and dialed with a nice bow on it. Every coach knows we're looking at these 5 things. You get a 1 through 5 in each one of these categories. We add this up. This is your score. This is what you can get out of it. And they know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
And obviously you would hope every coach is growing every month or every quarter. We do it quarterly. Sometimes they take a step back in an item. Like, okay, well, you kind of went from a 4 to a 3. Let's talk about that one thing. And then you could fix the broken chain, chink in the armor or whatever,
sure.
the chain. And that's where they're lacking. And so you can hyper focus, you can develop your staff. And you know what? When you have a staff that's doing their job, everybody's accounted for, everybody knows their role, like that's a great place to be. Mm-hmm. And that's the opposite of what's happening in many gyms. It's the opposite. They have staff, they can't trust them.
Yeah.
They don't have staff, so they do everything their own. They're lacking the systems for onboarding. They're lacking the systems for training and developing the staff. Because without look, at the end of the day, the job, somebody's got to do the job. Boom. So you got to figure out who that's going to be. Is it going to be you as the owner, or are you going to have a staff person? And then really we've worked with gyms that have the capital, but they're afraid to spend the money on, I can think of one person in particular that as soon as we hired that new coach and got him out of the afternoons, his life has been changed. And now he's got, he's already made all that money back that that's costing an expense. He's got all the time, and now he's putting into marketing, a new website, all this stuff. And now his business, call it overnight. It took 3 months, whatever. But, overnight he's in a totally different place. He has the opportunity to scale, because before he's a solopreneur, he can only get so far. Like, you only have so many hours in the day, and then all these things that have to get done. So you have to hire staff. Like, you just have to. You have to hire coaches. And so, like, there's that, and there's the admin staff that you need to, they're amazing when you have the people, right people.
Yeah. Some of that goes back to that conversation we had about high performers and where in the business they're spending their time, right? The operational and the admin. Operational and admin are some of the 2 smallest areas a high-performing business owner should be spending their time.
Yeah.
Got to be forward-focused, right? Working on the business, managing the growth of the business, and predicting and forcing that. Yeah, and then you allow your team to backfill.
You had a percentage of staff development on that.
It was, I don't remember those offhand. Yeah, it was like something right in the middle, divvied up between the quarter of them. Staff development, I believe, was about that 25, 27% time. But most of the people that were interviewed when I did that, when we were kind of being introduced to that data, most of us, much like our gym owners, are spending our time in the operational. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You said, when we talked about it, you said, okay, little glimpse. I'm spending too much time in the operational. Mm-hmm. For your role, it's important to get back out front.
Yeah.
Those of you listening, if you're in the business, guys, we get it. You could love training your clients, but if you need to be the person training your clients, you're probably not in the best position your business can utilize yourself in your business. Yeah. It's just a fact. And if you want to grow and scale, and you want to be able to do it, you have to have staff that you can trust. You have to be able to develop them. That's a big part, a big missing link.
If they don't have roles and responsibilities, they don't know what they're being graded on, and you're just letting them go off and, hopefully they do the job, it'll never happen.
And it goes even further. I mean, our coaching program, we're so granular. We talk about the beliefs of the business as a whole. Yeah. We're going so granular. We're starting with your belief, your brand promise, and your core values. I know we've had like 20, 30-year-old gym or 30-year gym owners jumping into the program and be like, "Oh, come on, guys!" And I'm like, "Really? But do you have it?"
No,
I've never done one. Yeah. Oh,
let's try.
So we don't even know what your business is about, and we're trying to fix problems. We need to know who we are before we can figure out the how. So starting there, stopping, taking a look. The thing that stands out the most lately is you can't fix a car while driving it. And too many of us are trying to do that.
Yeah,
and so having that non-subjective look at the systems, identify the problems, make adjustments.
It's funny. A lot of gyms, they believe they need systems.
Sure.
They believe they need systems. But when you start identifying the word system, they're so ambiguous. They don't understand what it means. And so I guess one of the first things you could do, I just did this yesterday with a new coaching client in Texas, a different guy. Basically, he's got a new employee. He wants to know what he should be having her do. And so I was like, well, listen, man, if you're trying to offload some of your roles and responsibilities, number one, all the income producing activities go on your plate right now. That's as the gym owner, you have to be that guy. But if it's, changing the decorations out in the gym and, getting ready for this and putting the birthdays on the board out in front, that's the stuff you can have them do. And he was like, oh, okay. So the first thing, he was wanting her to track the sales numbers and the retention numbers. Like, whoa, time out. She doesn't care about any of that stuff. She's going to have to ask you for that data anyway.
Yeah.
You hold on to that right now, but eventually, sure, when you have somebody in the sales role that is intimately, involved in the closings and the cancellations and the upgrades, downgrades, freezes and stuff. Yeah, and by the way, here's the Google Doc that will handle all that formulas for you. And we even built in a attrition formula last night. So
nice.
But at the end of the day, look, he had to list out everything he was doing. And I know you're doing that with him anyway, but list out all the things that he's doing, highlight the income producing activities, move those off of that list because that's his. He can't outsource that. You can't trust a new employee for
some of the most important roles,
especially when he's still that involved in the business.
Yeah.
If he was out of the business, then of course you would outsource the sales and the tracking, the lead follow up to somebody on your team. But for now, it's him, and then everything else, the time suck and everything that he can't get away from the gym. He just going to start basically creating checklists. Daily we do this, weekly we do this, and monthly we do this.
Automate, delegate, eliminate.
And so it's delegating, right? Yep. So he's delegating all that. And so now he's got some clarity around it, and he's like, okay, now it makes sense. But basically it was like, what should I have her do? That was the question. And so that's how we dissected to get to what she should be doing, what happens on a weekly basis. But the first thing he had to do was write down all the crap he's doing. How is she just going to automatically know?
Yeah.
And then the other thing I told him, that this is probably the biggest, I guess, aha for him and most gym owners, is you have to give them, how do I say this?
Authority?
Yeah, authority, but the flexibility to make decisions and define when those decisions can be made. For example, if she's a trainer, that's first. She's got to train. But if she's got a down hour, it's okay to step off the training floor to go do these other things. He was trying to decide if we were going to block times for admin work. I said, if you block times for admin work, if you're that busy, then yes. But if you do that, just stuff's never going to get done. They're going to waste that time. Oh, I'm done. I'll do that later. But if it's built into their checklist and stuff, and boom, it gets done. But he had to give her the comfort in knowing, hey, if this coach has those clients, you don't need to be standing next to them. Let's go ahead and get out the floor and get these other things done. Anyways, that's the system that we're talking about. The word system is just the processes, the steps, 1, 2, and 3.
Tracked. It's almost like data. You know what I mean? You have to have something written, trackable, measurable. There's got to be a process in place. I mean, it's much like we joke about goals. A goal is not a goal unless it's written with a date for completion. And that's a goal.
That's a goal, and then the steps to get there. And then steps,
exactly. And then you break down how to get there, right? Process is the same thing. What's the objective we're trying to create, accomplish? Serve our client for the hour, right? Whatever it may be. Starbucks. We're going to make a venti, whatever the hell it's called, right? There's steps to that. This ingredient, this, get it from here, this cabinet. Like, they're so granular in their processes. That's what allows a business like Starbucks to grow and scale efficiently.
Okay, so there you go. The goal. Let's just put the goal out there right now. Hey, the goal is to hire a new employee that's going to be a $50,000 a year employee. Let's just throw that out there. All right, so that's the goal. How do I need to get there? Well, I need to generate $50,000 more in the year. So what are my clients paying here? Let's just say it's $399 a month. Great. I need 10.4 clients to replace the income that I'm going to be paying this new employee. So 11 clients will get me there. So now, all right, how do I get to 11 clients? Well, we normally sign up, let's just say 8 to 10 a month. Okay, well, in the next 5 weeks, you should be hitting that goal. Awesome. Let's put some poles in the water. Let's work towards it. And as soon as you hit that 11th, that's when you can hire that person. Sure. So you've earned, you're burning 11 clients to now have the $50,000 a year employee. Again, these are clients that are paying $399 a month, but you do the math on your end. And maybe you're not paying $50,000, maybe it's $40,000, depending on your area. Just throwing those numbers out there, but that's how you get there. Now you know. And
we're talking 11 clients. So in your business, right? Because I can hear somebody saying, "Oh, well, I just added 11 clients. I basically just washed this new employee, right? I just pay them to just bring in the same amount of clients that they're going to be serving. It doesn't mean no good." Well, let's be honest. 11 clients in this semi-private training model is 2 full sessions.
Yeah,
big deal. Like, that can assimilate into the schedule today with no problem.
Yeah, they can trickle
through. You know what
through.
I mean? Yeah, exactly. So it's not like you're actually giving a new employee a full-time job with a full slate of clients that, they don't have the time and availability to do the other things that need to happen. You're creating that opportunity for all of those things to get accomplished while, starting with maximizing their training schedule.
So I'll throw this number out there. In a semi-private training model, be it 4, 5, or 6 to 1, and this will change a little bit. Each coach should be, the amount of clients per coach should be anywhere between 50 and 70. So if you have 50 clients, that's good for 1 coach. If you have 100 clients, you should have 2 coaches, 150 clients, 3 coaches or whatever. And that's it. That 5 to 6 to 1. And if you go to 5 to 1, and you just need to drop it down a little bit, 45, 40. So think about how many clients you have. You're serving. Obviously, if they're doing twice a week or 3 times a week, that does make a little difference, but it's an average, between 50 and 60-ish clients per coach, full-time coach.
That's good data.
So now, okay, you look at your business. Okay, we have 150 clients, but we only have 2 coaches. We need a new one. Or if you have 3 coaches, you're at 150 semi-private training clients. If you want to grow, you need to have a 4th coach in to get to 200 or whatever.
I think that I don't know. I mean, what's your opinion? I think a lot of the coaches, or the businesses that we've worked in, it was kind of a combination. Some were overstaffed in inefficient ways. But I would say almost like the other 50, there wasn't very many that were like in the sweet spot. You know what I mean? It was either we had nobody and we were doing it all, like the gym owners were talking about today, or they have a massive amount of people in their business, but that one person's doing 1 session a week. This person might be offsetting their membership for childcare while they're in their whatever it may be type of thing.
They have a dozen coaches, but they do like 2 hours a day or whatever. Yeah,
that's almost the other end of the problem of you can't scale because you don't have anybody who's bought in to the business. You know what I mean? You don't have a team behind you. It's that's a whole nother podcast episode.
Yeah. One of the things that we talk about in our coaching program, guys, if you're interested in the coaching program, what's the URL?
winninggym.com/coaching.
Okay, winninggym.com/coaching. If you have interest in the coaching program, this is something we talk about. We get into staff schedules. I'm a real big proponent of block scheduling, just basically shifts, morning shift, afternoon shift, and depending on how many coaches, that you could have 2 coaches in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. Fitness director, floater, that's kind of like the 9 to 5 person. That's the perfect model in my opinion, because then you got everything covered. And then look, if coach is out, you can switch and swap and move people around. And to me that makes a lot of sense, because no clients belong to one coach. It's a team effort. Every client can train with any coach. Is based on the times that they come in. And sometimes we force switch some of these coaches so the clients get used to other coaches. And so if one of the coaches decides that this isn't for them anymore, we don't try to protect ourselves. Now there's relationships. The episode before us could bite you in the butt where you have such a tight relationship with some of the coaches and they leave, then you could lose a client out of that. But yeah, guys, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, gym owners, you work, God bless you. You're hardest working in the industry. You guys are the hardest working business owners. Like, you do everything. You love it. You don't bitch about it. It's just what you do. But at the end of the day, that's not a good place to be 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 25 years into the business where you don't go to work, the money doesn't come in. That's a big problem.
Scary place to be. Yeah. Very scary place to be. And I'll throw one thing on there, right? The COVID, this situation, the hiring, all of that type of stuff, right? The people that we're working with and the people that we're the pool of people we get to choose from right now. Guys, we hear it all the time. It's really difficult to find good quality staff. You shouldn't be bringing people into your organization that if you close a door, you have to talk negatively about. I mean, this it's kind of a heart-to-heart. I take a lot of calls with interested parties, some of the coaching clients. I mean, there's definitely been a us versus them mentality with some of the individuals, in some of these organizations. A difference between the owner and the staff, right? There's so much resistance between, I hired this person, or yeah, tell me about that person. They're an idiot. Like they can't even do this right. That is not the way you should be employing anybody in your business. And this is a heart-to-heart. This is your opportunity to ascend. That's your problem. That's your problem. Ultra accountability in your organization, right? That's the ability for you to step up and be a better, more effective leader, right? You shouldn't have people in your organization that are lost if they need direction. Guys, they show up and they want to do a good job. That's the truth of it. Most people don't show up for work just trying to just skate by. Yeah. When they're working with clients, they want positive interactions. They want to help people. They want to make them smile. Doesn't always happen. Things happen, right? People screw up. But give an opportunity to educate, to learn, to ascend. I'm a big proponent for having those paths for ascension in your employees. And, if you find yourself kind of resistance around that, figure it out. You should probably have a look at what you're doing, right? That's your opportunity to look internally because.
And I would venture to guess that there hasn't been a review in a long time.
Sure, there's right.
They haven't had that sit down. Get back to that, guys. I know most of you have good intentions, and then the chaos gets in the way.
That same stats we did when I went over the high performance, it was something like 46% of employees' time is spent on tasks they weren't originally hired to do. I don't remember specific. I think it was that much. If the people in our businesses are doing things that they weren't hired to do, aren't part of their job description, and they're technically in the wrong seat of the bus, that's your opportunity to make changes.
Yeah. No, like you said, it's your problem to fix.
It
so
is,
as the owner, once again, you hold it. You got the world on your shoulders. This also, we'll just throw that on top. But yeah, you can fix this problem and it's awesome when you do.
Yeah.
When you have the systems and the staff in place, and when your team's doing everything that they're supposed to be doing, and you come in and it's just getting done, and you're walking around, everybody's smiling, high-fiving, laughing, having a good time, they're rocking and rolling. That's a good feeling. Like, that's the place I want you to get to. I just, I'm fortunate enough to have that where I walk in and just you see it, just things are happening, and it's just great, right? It's a good feeling. I want you to get there too, and picture yourself in that position if you're not there, and then just kind of work your way back to figure out how to get there. And we gave you some equations, we gave you some goals and some paths to get to. But at the end of the day, you have to have the right team. They have to be trained, and you've got to not do everything in the gym.
Yeah,
you have to be able to trust. Right? Hopefully that helps you guys. Let us know if you want help with this. This is something we do very, very well. winninggym.com/coaching. Jump into that, and would love to talk to you. So that's it for this episode. Until next show, keep changing lives. See you on the next show. Bye. All right, and thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals, and when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.